Oh, what a footsie. What a footsie. Yo, that was crazy.
Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, or Super Turbo for short, or ST for short. Man, what a long name. It's an arcade fighting game released on February 23rd, 1994 by Capcom. Now this game is my favorite fighting game, tied with Street Fighter 6 and various others. This game came out in response to its predecessor, Super Street Fighter 2. The problem? It is too slow, hence the word turbo in the title. Now I won't go too in-depth into what this game is, I will instead talk about its competitive aspects. Granted, we will get breakdowns of mechanics, but that is besides the point. Now first, if you didn't live under a rock, this game is the 5th installment to the Street Fighter 2 series. Yeah, Capcom was definitely, and all the way up to 2017, were milking Street Fighter 2. For good reason. When the first version of Street Fighter 2 was released, it was an innovative, successful arcade game, but there were flaws, such as not being able to have a mirror match and various bugs and glitches. But thankfully, there were revisions of the game, Champion Edition letting you do mirror matches and play as the 4 boss characters, Turbo making the game faster, and Super bringing in new 4 characters, but the speed was gone, and better graphics, better sound on new hardware. Now before we move on, during the days of CE and Turbo, tournaments were being held revolving around these titles. The most notable I found would be this Japanese video from 1993 that held Turbo on the Super Famicom? Well, there were home ports, makes sense. Basically, this tournament was held at
緑二国技館
in Tokyo, and is actually a sumo arena. Just imagine E Honda there. From what I can gather, this tournament had 7,000 attendees, was a single elimination format, and Capcom was the organizer, making this the first officially held tournament by Capcom in Street Fighter's history. Now this is great, but what about the main topic of this video? Super Turbo, as mentioned, is another revision. Its key difference are that it has a super meter, has the speed brought back, which can be changed in 3 settings, and has a secret character, Akuma. Let's just say he is banned. To put it simply, he has way too many advantages that deserve its own video. Anyways, Super Turbo may be an old game, but what about its first tournament? I did some research to find that the information would be back in 1994, the same year of the game's release. However, the information was very vague and hard to determine, from what I can tell. A DJ player named Fusuke won the tournament. Link to this information in the description. I was able to find footage of some of the games, and albeit the quality is, well, there-ish. It seems that the footage to find this tournament is rare, so I moved on. Thankfully, Super Turbo is not dead yet. In 2003, there was a tournament held at Dokeki 03, also known as Super Battle Opera. This was the first tournament organized by Arcadia Magazine in Japan, and the venue was in Ariake DFT Hall, Tokyo, Japan. They held other fighting game tournaments the same year. For this topic, they had a tournament for Super Turbo. From what I gathered, it is a 3v3 tournament and all being run on arcade hardware. Once again, the format was single elimination. Fun fact, the winning team, Auto-chan Gundam, had Daigo Umahara as one of its teammates. Today, ST is still being played to this day. Thanks to its mechanics, it is considered to be a timeless classic. The game first introduced the tech throw mechanic, super moves, the super meter, and even juggle/air combos. And thankfully, big events such as CEO are held as a major tournament. On top of this, people are still playing the game to this day, especially online. By using a program named Fightcade, players are able to play old retro fighting games online with its own ranking system. And one of those retro games that are supported is, of course, Super Turbo. Using a ROM of Super Turbo, disclaimer, sharing ROMs is against piracy laws. Please make sure to obtain your ROMs legally. Thank you so much. You can then load an emulator to connect with another player by requesting a friendly match or a first to ranked set, and boom, you are playing. Even though Capcom has released the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, which bundles all of the Street Fighter games up to 3rd Strike and has online multiplayer, I still recommend Fightcade if you have a PC. But regardless, my personal opinion is beloved for the game itself. Like the music and graphics, I really enjoy watching it and playing against others competitively. And it is amazing how this ancient, old fart, 31-year-old game is still alive and healthy after all of its history. It shows how much of a classic this game is, although it isn't perfect.